The first feature, we are looking at the adoption of stocks as well, trading by the Nigerian Exchange Group and the need for greater capital flows for a sustainable economic recovery. The Nigerian Exchange is also set to reappraise the strategies for sustaining growth in the post-COVID capital market. Given the myriads of challenges the capital market has encountered in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the NGX has created an opportunity to drive sustainable wealth creation and economic development through policies that foster innovation and digitization, addressing severe societal challenges. Now, the development has made the NGX strategically positioned to foster the growth and development of the Nigerian economy and, by extension, the African economy at large. Well, to discuss this and more matters relating to the forthcoming NGX Capital Market Conference, I have joining me live virtually the chairman of the board of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, Mr. Abubakar Mahmood SN. Thank you very much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you, David. Thank you for having me.
Mr. Mahmood, let's start off with the just recently Nigeria Exchange Limited hosted the Maiden Tech Innovation with major industry players, and about the 30th of this month would also host the inaugural NGX Capital Markets Conference. Can you talk to us about the theme of this event, why this remains integral in the shape of the NGX, and what we should expect for the year 2022, and what you hope to really achieve with this move?
Yeah, thank you, David, and thank you for having me once again. As you pointed out, we are having a maiden edition of the NGX Capital Market Conference kicking off tomorrow, and we're eagerly looking forward to that. The theme is the future-ready capital market, innovating for Nigeria's sustainable recovery. And as you observed earlier, the world and indeed Nigeria has gone through very tumultuous times in the wake of the current pandemic, and also some of the more disruptive situations, not only from the technological perspective, but other perspectives as well. So we ourselves at the NGX have gone through our own transformative reorganizations, and we are currently trying to reposition ourselves, as a major player, and also to try to look at how we can work to ensure more capital inflows into the various sectors that need them, and ensure a more sustainable, economic recovery. So the conference kicks off tomorrow, and is going to be hybrid. We're expecting close to 1,000 participants from across the country and across Africa and the rest of the world. And it brings together key business leaders, investors, both local and international, as well as industry regulators and other leaders, stakeholders from various sectors. So we're happy to say that His Excellency, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, would be the headline speaker for this event. And he will be joined, of course, by some of the leading policy people, lawmakers, including the Senate President, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Minister of Finance, and some of the key governors of many of the states that are very active in the capital market. So we're looking forward to that event, but it's not just the public sector players. We also have an array of key private sector players as well. The president of Work Group will be joining us. He'll be giving special remarks at the conference, and so also other key players from various segments of the Nigerian capital market. So yes, it's an exciting event, and we hope we would be having this event annually going forward, and it's going to be streamed live, and I'm sure that already many of stakeholders and players are ready and preparing for the conference. Thank you.
Now, let's also talk about the impressive lineup of speakers you made mention of right now, and then some of the major topics that would form this conference, the essence, the core of this conference. Now, in a breakdown, can you share with us some of the topics which will likely be addressed, and why these remain pertinent issues in the performance of the capital market today?
Well, the topics have been carefully framed, to enable, all the stakeholders look closely at some of the macro and microeconomic policies and forces shaping and trying to stimulate the growth, recovery of the Nigerian economy in a sustainable manner. And there are three key sessions which we hope will focus on the various sub-themes. The first one focusing on really the role of the capital market in facilitating infrastructure development, promoting public sector, public-private sector partnerships, and also engaging with regulators to look at the framework for this collaboration. The second preliminary session would be looking more closely at the capital market and its relation with the private sector and see how we can deepen these engagements and engender growth and development. And then the final section or theme will be looking more closely at the various initiatives led by governments, both at national and subnational levels, that are aimed at building a more vibrant capital market.
Okay, now, industry players have also been calling on the government to securitize some of its corporate assets. You recently led a team to pay a visit to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Are we seeing a future listing here of some of the government-owned corporations like the NNPC on the exchange anytime soon?
Well, thank you. Yes, you're right. Back in September, I led the team of the board of the exchange to pay a courtesy visit on the GMD, Group Managing Director of the NNPC, and we had very useful exchange with him. And we're all very excited at the recent developments in terms of the pass of the Petroleum Industry Act, which we're confident will transform the sector and open, that new opportunities, both for NGX and for NNPC to explore going forward. So the NNPC, as has been publicly announced, is committed to listing very soon, probably in the next year or two. And we believe that will open a great deal of new opportunities, and it will go a long way to deepen the capital market. So we're really looking forward at that opportunity, and we are hoping that it will be a major transformational boost, for not only the organization, but also for us and also for all the participants in the market. So we're looking to, we're inviting everyone to look at that space, and we're following events there closely, and you will be, I'm sure, helping us to track those events.
Now, Mr. Mahmood, just wrapping up our conversation at this point in time, let's look at the overall performance of the equities market. We saw the listing of the NGX also be one of the biggest highlights of the year 2021. In your own assessment, let's have an overview of the performance we've seen so far, the play out, the interface we've seen on the NGX so far this year, and also for investors still sitting on the fence, what's your word to them as well, wrapping up the year 2021 and prepping up for next year? Your advice?
Well, we know the recovery has been somewhat, measured and slow, but we're hoping that, things will continue to pick up. And as you rightly said, the listing of the NGX Group has been a major event, which we hope will boost confidence in the market. And we're hoping that the year 2022 would see even more activity with the various anticipated transactions that will be coming on board. And I'm sure you'll be hearing more of this at the conference tomorrow. Thanks.
And what more should we also expect as well? Keeping our fingers crossed.
I'm sorry?
What more should we also expect? The play out and all of the intricacies we'd like to see coming up next year, activities that would also shape the year 2022 as we're getting set for that.
Well, we're hoping that activities of this nature, the Capital Market Conference, will really sensitize policy makers to try and close up some of the regulatory gaps, to also try to boost confidence in the market, not just in terms of directly influencing capital market operators, but also the wider economy, as it were, because the capital market is only a segment of the economy, and we're hoping that with all the anticipated, positive developments. I know we're running into election year, but I'm certain that we'll see something positive as we continue to sensitize policymakers to really come up with the right approach to, to things that impact on the economy and on the market.
Thank you very much there for your time on the show today. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Mr. Abubakar Mahmood. We've been speaking with the chairman of the board of the Nigerian Exchange Limited. Thank you once again for your time, and we wish you all the very best tomorrow.
Thank you.